I just came in the window. Somebody shooting like crazy at me.
Hello bears and girls, what is up? Eroctic here. In today's video, we are gonna talk about my favorite loadout. But not just that, the most efficient loadout that is currently available in the Escape from Tarkov. People that are usually tuning in on my live streams already know about my favorite loadouts, but I got a lot of requests to make a video about my favorite loadouts, so here we go. First, I want to talk about the Gamma Container. If you already do not know, Gamma Container is the container that you are getting with the Edge of Darkness edition. Sometimes fans can sell the Gamma Container, or if you want a more stable approach how to get the Gamma Container, you can get it from your friend. He just needs to give you the Gamma Container and reset his profile. You'll start all over again, so the best tactic is to do that on wipe. I'm using the Gamma Container, and inside of my Gamma Container is the VT rig. The reason why VT rig is inside of my Gamma Container is because Gamma Container is 3x3 slots, aka 9 slots, and the VT rig has 10 slots, which means one extra slot. Right now, in the newest patch, you do not need to right click and open the rigs and the backpacks, you can double click on them to speed up the process of opening the items. So inside of my VT rig, I love to have one grenade, bunch of medications, document case and a keybar. Inside of my keybar and the document case, I'm storing all available keys that I currently found, and on top of that, I do not have the wallet because in the document case you can place and the money and the maps and the keys. The reason why we are using VT rig and not AVS or the BlackRock is because VT rig has 2x2 open slot. And pay closer attention on my far left side of the VT rig. I have Salwa and the painkillers. If I kill the enemy with a Kolpak or any other 2x2 valuable item, I can quickly drag out Salwa and 2 painkillers and place, for example, contacts inside. After many hours of experimenting, this is definitely my favorite loadout to go in. In most of the cases, I'm playing this game solo. And as a solo player, you're gonna die a lot, which means you cannot get the most valuable items on yourself and hope that you will not die. Because in the most of the cases, there is gonna always be that one plus guy that is gonna kill you when you're gonna loot. There is plenty of reasons why this loadout is the best loadout available in the Escape from Tarkov right now, and this loadout does not have any cons. Let's start from the beginning. Every single item that I'm carrying right now on myself, you can buy it from the vendor. But not just that, every single item has a really good efficiency and it is really cheap. Let's start from the beginning. Scav vest. I'm always buying Scav vest just because it is really easy to find AVS, BlackRock and the VT rig inside of the raid. Right after the first Scav kill, you can get the bigger rig, and the difference in the money value on the vendors is huge. And if I successfully extract, I'm gonna sell that BlackRock AVS or the VT rig and buy another Scav vest. I just wanna point out a few reasons why I'm doing that. Why am I not bringing BlackRocks or AVSs or VT rigs inside of the raid? If you guys do not know, Skier is gonna give you the biggest amount of cash for the modifications and for the pistols. But he's not buying the pistols and some of the modifications. You can store those items inside of the AVS or the VT rig and sell all of those things to the Skier. And the another reason is that Proper is willing to trade one BlackRock for one AK-74N. You really need to camp the Proper on every vendor reset to be able to buy the AK-74N or one BlackRock, and as you can already see, we are using AK-74N in our loadout, so you can tell that this loadout has the synergy. I'm using my pockets to store medications and the grenades. As you can see in this example, I have 2 painkillers and 1 IFAK inside of my pocket and 1 extra slot. You can of course store the grenade on the 4th slot, but on my favorite loadout we do not have the grenade just because grenades cost a lot of money, and I'm never buying the grenades. Whenever I find the grenades inside of the raid, I'm dragging those grenades on that 4th slot. Let's not forget about hotkeying the items from your pockets. You should always place painkillers and IFAKs inside of your hotbar so you can heal yourself quickly. That's the only reason why you have medications inside of your pockets. I'm also buying the Scav backpack The reason why is because they're really cheap. You can always get them from the vendor, from the skier, and you can store 2 really good weapons inside of the scav backpack. You can of course replace the scav backpack with the MBSS backpack, but from my experience, scav backpack is definitely right on spot if you're calculating the average amount of the slots required from the weapons and from the items extracted. And of course, Paka and the Kolpak, just because you can buy Paka from the skier and Kolpak from the Pavel for dirty cheap amount of the money, and they're doing a great job over protecting yourself from the scavs and from the enemy players. Additional thing that I really love about this loadout is it is dirt cheap to ensure it. Now let's talk about AK-74N and the weapon modifications on that weapon. Like I already said, you can trade the Black Rock or the AK-74N without of the dust cover from the proper on the vendor reset. However, you can also buy 2 sets of tools from the Elvira for 20k rubles and trade those 2 sets of tools to the proper for the black AK-74N, which means you're buying a really deadly weapon for 20k rubles, which is insane. I was testing different modifications on the AK-74N to see which modification is the best to decrease the recoil or to increase the efficiency of the weapon, and after testing many of the modifications on the AK-74N, I figured that there is no point in modifying that weapon. The reason why is because a value of the AK-74N will jump drastically, and the efficiency that you're gonna get, the stat-wise efficiency, it is not that great, so there is no point in modifying the AK-74N. However, there is that one modification that I'm really recommending you to place like a luxury on top of that build, and it is Suppressor. Suppressor is the item that costs almost like the AK-74N, but with the Suppressor you can play more aggressively just because you're gonna drastically increase your survival chance with using the suppressors. First reason is the enemies will not be able to hear your shots if you're on the another point of interest, or if you're on the same point of interest with the suppressor, they will not be able to hear your exact position, just because in the Escape from Tarkov, suppressed shots are really sneaky. I'm using those 2 types of the loadouts, suppressed or non-suppressed, when I'm playing solo. When I'm playing in a group, then I'm willing to increase the risk of losing the items inside of the raid, and then I'm going with the trizips, with the fully modded AKs, with the forts and with the kivers. And there is one more thing that I wanna point out. I did not forget to talk about the ammunition. I simply do not wanna talk about the ammunition because it is gonna drag a lot of debate which ammo type is the best, which one is the worst, which one sucks, which one doesn't. My favorite one is the SP just because it is really cheap and it is doing the damage against armored and unarmored targets. And that's pretty much it. This was my guide about my favorite loadout in the Escape from Tarkov for the solo gameplay. Like, subscribe, check my live stream, everything is in the description. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Eroctic out.